Okay, good morning. Today we'll learn how to calculate the reinforcement of Chajja or sunshade. So I have drawn a figure of a Chajja spanning over 1200 mm, resting on a beam of 300 mm depth and 200 mm width. The width of the Chajja or sunshade is taken as 2 meter, which is 2000 mm. First of all, we will calculate the reinforcement, which is much more critical. Then after, we will calculate the quantity of RCC and shuttering. So let us go with the reinforcement calculation. The reinforcement of Chajja is drawn in the figure. The main reinforcement I am assuming as 10 mm dia at 150 center to center, and the distribution steel which I am taking as 8 mm dia at 200 center to center. There are only two reinforcement. One is main reinforcement and second is distribution steel. So main steel is of 10 mm and the distribution is of 8 mm steel. The width of the Chajja is 2 meter. Now calculating the reinforcement, the main reinforcement, which is 10 mm. So main reinforcement, which is 10 mm dia, 10 tor at 150 center to center. Here we will write dia 10 mm. Now the numbers, we will calculate the number of 10 mm bar on the next step. First we will calculate the length of this particular bar. So length of the bar will be from this edge to this edge, then up to this edge, then drop of 150, then this portion. This is around, this is we have taken as 150 mm. So length will be the total span of the Chajja, which is 1200 mm plus 200 mm. 1200 mm plus 200 mm, then we have to deduct a cover from this Chajja and we have to deduct one cover from this beam, minus one cover of Chajja minus one cover of beam. Okay, then we have to add this particular L, which is 50 mm plus 50 mm L, then we have to add this diameter, this length, which is 150 minus cover. The cover of beam is taken as 25, means 150 minus 25, which is 125. Which is 125, then this particular length, which is 200 minus cover, which is 200 minus 25 mm cover, means plus 175, then a hook of 100 mm plus 100 mm. So you will get the length in this fashion. So 1200 plus 200 plus cover of the Chajja. Basically Chajja is the form of slab. We will take a cover of 15 mm. So minus 15 mm for this cover and one cover of the beam, Generally beam, the cover we used to take as 25 mm, so I am deducting 25 mm from this equation, then 50 we have to add it, again plus 125 plus 175 and plus 100. On calculating this, you'll get the length of this particular reinforcement. So 1200 plus 200 minus 15 minus 25 plus 50 plus 125 plus 175 plus 100. You'll get 1.765 meter of this 10 mm dia. So spanning is 1200 mm, but we required the length of 1.765 meter to put in this Chajja. So we will calculate the number later. The length is 1.765. The weight per unit meter for 10 mm dia can be calculated by the simple formula, which is d square divided by 162, in which d is the dia of concerning reinforcement. Here in this case we will take d as a 10. So 10 into 10 divided by 162, which you will get 100 divided by 162, which is 0.61. On rounding off, we will take it 0.62. So weight per meter for 10 mm dia will be 0.62. Now how many numbers of bar are there in this particular Chajja? We are talking about main reinforcement, which is 10 mm dia at 150 cm. So numbers can be calculated by dividing the spacing with this particular span. So width of the Chajja is 2000 mm. Both the side will deduct the cover of 15 mm, since Chajja is a part of slab, or it is a slab of less thickness. So minus 15 and minus 15. So there are two 15s. We have taken 15 mm cover for one side, 15 mm cover from the second side, dividing this by the spacing of main bar, which is 150. This is 150. And adding 1 to this whole quantity, you will get the number of main bar in this particular span. So 2000 minus 15 divided by 150 and plus 1. You will get 14.13 numbers. So on rounding off, we will take 14 numbers of bar in this particular span shall be put as a main reinforcement in this Chajja. So you have to write 14 numbers in this column. The net quantity can be calculated by multiplying the numbers to the length to the weight per meter. So the total quantity will be 14 into 1.765 into 0.62. This comes out to be 15.32 kg. 15.32 kg. Now coming to the distribution steel, serial number 2. Distribution bar. The distribution bar is of 8 mm dia at 200 center to center. This bar will go like this, okay, along the width. So how many number we'll calculate afterward. First we have to write the dia of this bar, the 8 mm dia. The length we have to calculate. So the length of distribution steel can be calculated in the fashion as I am showing on the board. So the total width of the Chajja is 2000 mm. This is 2000 mm. We have to deduct 2 cover from the both sides. So minus 2 cover And of course, for Chajja we used to take cover of 15 mm. So length will be equal to 2000 minus 2 into 15, which is equal to 30 mm. So the length of the distribution bar will be 2000 minus 2 into 15, which is 1.97 meter. 1.97 meter. So you have to write this length here, 1.97 meter. Similarly, the weight per meter of 8 mm die can be calculated by the equation 162 d square divided by 162. For 8 square divided by 162, you will get 0.39 kg per meter. 0.39 kg per meter. This is the weight per meter, 0.39. Now number of distribution bar can be calculated by dividing the spacing to the distance. Means numbers will be equal to the distribution bar are provided in this particular section. Means 1200 divided by 200, which is spacing, plus 1. Means this is 1200 minus cover from this side. This is a cover of 15 mm. Correct, for slab. So 1200 minus 15 mm divided by spacing of this distribution bar, which is 200, and you have to add the total quantity by 1. You will get the numbers. Numbers will be 1200 minus 15 divided by 200, then plus 1. You will get 6.9. 6.9. I would like to just check my calculation. 1200 minus 15 divided by 200 plus 1, which is equal to 6.9. On rounding off, you will get 7 numbers. So distribution bar will be 7 in this particular case. The quantity can be calculated in the similar fashion by multiplying numbers to the length to the weight per meter. So 7 into 1.97 into 0.39, which is equal to 5.37 kg. 5.37 kg. This is all about reinforcement, calculation of this Chajja. Now coming to the calculation of concrete and shuttering. So you have to make one more table. Here serial number, this is particular, this is numbers, this is length, this is breadth, this is depth or thickness, this is quantity, and again unit. This form is called measurement form. In this particular form or table, we used to calculate the quantity of earthwork, PCC, RCC, shuttering, brickwork, etc., etc. In this case, we'll just calculate the quantity of RCC and shuttering. Steel already we have discussed. So, first item will be our RCC. It may be of M20, M15, M30, whatever the grade of concrete will be. We have to just write here. Let us assume it is M20 grade of concrete. So, this particular beam is plinth beam, which is resting over 200 mm brickwork. The Chajja is supported by this particular beam, and the Chajja is spanning about 2000 mm in width, and it is cantilevering in 1200 mm distance. So, first of all, we will calculate the RCC of beam. So, beam. There is only one beam. The size of beam is 200 mm by 300 mm, correct? So, length will be, you have to put all the units in meter. 0.2 meter, depth will be, length will be 2 meter from here to here. Length will be 2 meter, width will be 0.2 meter, depth will be 0.3 meter. This is 0.2, this is 0.3, and the length is 2 meter. So, the quantity will be number into length into width into depth. So, 1 into 2 into 0.2 into 0.3, you will get 0.12 m cube. 0.12 m cube as a quantity of RCC. Now, for Chajja, now you have to calculate the RCC from here, this trapezoidal portion. This length is 75 mm, this is 150 mm, and the length is 1200 mm, and the width of the Chajja is 200 mm. So, first we have to find out this area. Of course, it's a trapezoidal, so the area of trapezoidal will be sum of parallel side by 2 into height. So, parallel sides are 75 plus 150. So, sum of parallel side means 0.075 plus this 150 means 0.150, sum of parallel side by 2 into height. Height will be 1.2, this is 1200 mm, this will act as a height for this particular trapezium, into 1.2. You will get the area 0.075 plus 0.150 divided by 2 into 1.2. This is area 0.135. 0.135. So, this is the area of this particular trapezoidal section. You have to multiply this area with the length, which is 2 meter, then the volume can be calculated easy. So, there is one Chajja, length of the Chajja is 2.1, width and depth which combines makes an area which is 0.135. Here you write 0.135, it is the area. So, area multiplied by length will give the cubic unit. So, 2 into 0.135, which is equal to 0.27 m cube. This will be the quantity of RCC M20 grade of concrete. So, 0.12 plus 0.27, which is equal to 0.39 m cube. This is all about RCC. Now, coming to the shuttering, calculation of shuttering is similar. Our second item will be shuttering. Since we are assuming that this beam is a lintel beam and it is resting over brickwork, so the shuttering of bottom can be neglected, since we'll cast this lintel beam after constructing brickwork. So there will be two surface area for providing shuttering. The first surface area will be the outer of this beam and the inside of this beam. Means this area, this surface area will put shuttering, and this surface area will put shuttering. Okay? Now shuttering for beam. Shuttering for beam. Okay. The length of the beam is 2 meter. We are considering this face. The length of the beam is 2 meter. Right? There is a one face, length 2 meter, and the depth is 300 mm. Depth is 0.3 meter. So on multiplying these three quantities, means number into length into depth, you'll get the shuttering of this particular face, which comes out to be 2 into 0.3, which is equal to 0.6. 0.6. Unit will be meter square. We have completed this phase. Now coming to the another phase. Now we'll consider this particular phase. Length of the beam is again 2 meter. There is only one face. Length of the beam is 2 meter. Now here the depth will be 300 minus 150, which is again 150. Means 0.150. On multiplying these three quantities, means number into length into depth, you will get 2 into 0.150, which is 0.3. Okay. Bottom of the beam we are neglecting, otherwise we will take 200 into 2 meter. Okay. Now coming to the Chajja portion. Coming to the Chajja portion. Chajja. Bottom. Now we are considering this particular phase for providing shuttering. Okay. See, it is a part of trapezial. We can calculate the length of this face, length, by applying Pythagoras theorem. This is 150, then you will get this 75, means 75 square plus 1200 square, and adding the two quantities, taking root, will get the length. So length will be calculated by applying Pythagoras theorem. 75 square plus 1200 square, you will get 1.440. 1.440. Correct? This will be your length. So this time the shuttering of the bottom can be calculated as 1.440 into 2 meter. See, there is one bottom, the length will be 1.440 and width will be 2.0. You will get the shuttering of this bottom portion. So the quantity can be calculated by multiplying these three numbers, which is 1 into 1.44 into 2. You will get 2.88. Okay. We have completed three faces: the left of the beam, the right of the beam, the bottom of the Chajja. Now we are interested in calculating this face. This is the face. We have to calculate the shuttering for this particular face. So the depth of this face is 75 and the length is again 2 meter. So side face, side of Chajja, which is 1 into 75 mm into 2 meter length. So length will be 2.0 meter and the depth will be 0.075. The quantity will be calculated by multiplying these three units, which is 1 into 2 into 0.075. So you will get 0.15 meter square. 0.15 meter square. The unit of shuttering is meter square. Now only two portions are left for which we have to calculate the shuttering. The first portion is this trapezoidal area and the trapezoidal area behind this section. So I am enlarging this area, see, or we can calculate in this also. We have already calculated the area of this trapezoidal portion. Just see, this portion, this trapezoidal portion, we have to calculate the area for finding out the shuttering. है ना? तो trapezoidal portion, so we have already calculated the area of trapezoidal portion is 1.135. Okay, so length is again 2.1. Oh, sorry, 2.1 will not be the length. We have to directly write the area, which is 0.135. 0.135, and again the quantities are two. One for this particular face and one for the next face. So 2 multiplied by 0.135, you will get 0.27 meter square. 0.27 meter square. The total quantity of shuttering can be calculated by adding these all quantity. So 0.6 plus 0.3 plus 2.88 plus 0.15 plus 0.27, you will get 4.2 meters square as a quantity of shuttering. So this is all about reinforcement and shuttering of a Chajja.